Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining in to our matchday analysis of the final stage of the World Rugby 7 Series here in Paris. We have the Cup final between England and South Africa. My name's James Douglas and I'm joined by my co-host Mark Wagg. Say hi to the folks, Mark.
Hi everyone.
Mark, could you give us a lowdown on the teams and competition and what this game means to each of them?
Thanks James. The England Sevens team and the South African Sevens team, also known as the Blitzbock, are England and South Africa's national rugby sevens teams. Both teams compete in the top level of World Sevens, competing in the World Rugby Sevens Series, Rugby World Cup Sevens and the Commonwealth Games. The game situation is the Cup final of the Paris Sevens. This game has a particular feeling to it, as if South Africa win, then they win the Sevens World Series, but if England win, then Fiji wins the World Series, and England finish third overall rather than fifth, where they are standing prior to the Cup final in Paris. James, can you tell us why we do performance or match analysis?
Performance or match analysis provides the coaching team and athletes with objective information that helps them understand their individual or the team's performance. It can help enhance the coaching process by providing statistical and video feedback for the coaching staff and athletes to review. Overall, the objective data facilitates enhanced feedback between coaches and players, and it allows for any changes that need to be implemented to be identified. In this analysis, we're going to look at clean breaks, tackle percentage, restarts, turnovers, set piece one, possession, and tries. But before that, we'll get a quick definition of each.
Clean breaks, a situation where the ball carrier is able to break the line into open space without getting tackled.
This can be seen here, where Dan Norton gets the ball and breaks into the open space without getting tackled. A tackle. A tackle occurs when the ball carrier is held by one or more opponents and is brought to the ground, i.e. when the ball carrier has one or both knees on the ground, they have been tackled. This clip shows a dominant tackle by Glover, where he hits the South African player and brings the player to the ground.
Restarts, the process of restarting the play after a try or conversion has taken place, or at the beginning of each half.
Here you can see a restart being used to kick off the match. Turnovers, when the attacking team loses possession of the ball. This includes knock-ons, forward pass, offensive penalty, or kicking the possession away. Here you can see the South African player getting the good body position and generating a turnover from the ruck. The second is an example of a knock-on turnover, where the South African player takes in the contact and loses possession of the ball.
Set piece. Set piece is the term for a scrum or line out. Set piece percentage is the percentage of set piece won on own possession.
The first example shows a scrum in sevens, which is 3 versus 3, and the second example is that of a line out where England have possession. Possession. The amount of time each team has possession of the ball, given as a percentage of total in-play ball time. In this clip, you can see England maintaining possession of the ball, running backwards and passing to each other. The idea is to hold on to the ball for as long as possible and generate opportunities through this.
Try. A way of scoring points in rugby union. It occurs when the attacking team grounds the ball in the opposition's goal area. This is worth 5 points in the game of sevens.
Alright Mark, let's delve a little deeper into the quantitative analysis, first starting off with clean breaks.
With the clean breaks, South Africa made only 2, whereas England made 3.
And interestingly enough, Mark, Dan Norton made all 3 clean breaks down the right side of the field. In relation to tackles, England made 19 out of 26 and South Africa made 20 out of 25. This gives England a tackle percentage of 73% and South Africa a tackle percentage of 80%.
For England's individual tackle percentage, 3 players made 100% of their tackles, 1 had 75%, 3 players had 67% and 2 had 50%.
England chose to perform short restarts and regather 67% of their restarts.
South Africa, on the other hand, chose deep restarts and lost 100% of their restarts.
It did seem to be a tactic of theirs, however, though, Mark.
In regards to turnovers, England turned the ball over an astounding 10 times. They knocked the ball on 6 times, gave away 2 holding on penalties and kicked the possession away in play. The final turnover was from a kick off which they couldn't regather.
This is compared to South Africa, who turned possession over 8 times. However, 4 of them were from knock-ons and the other 4 were from restarts, which seemed to be a tactic after scoring points, to kick the ball deep into England's half and pin them down there. Looking at individual turnovers, the penalty turnovers were both on Burgess, who seemed to isolate himself from the rest of the team.
Whereas Waddleton lost the ball twice through knock-ons, and Bibby not only knocked the ball on once, he actually kicked the ball while in possession.
In regard to set piece, both teams were very clinical, with a 100% success rate on own ball.
In regards to possession, England had the greater amount with 52%, which only equated to 24 seconds longer than South Africa.
In regards to tries, England scored 2 tries and South Africa 3. In regards to the qualitative data, can you give us a lowdown, Mark, on clean breaks?
Yeah, sure. England made all of their clean breaks on the right-hand side of the field. They were able to identify space, draw in the defence, and then use the speed of Dan Norton on the right edge. He was outstanding with ball in hand. Each time he touched the ball, he beat a defender, generated a line break, and scored a try himself or set up a try for his teammate. What are your thoughts on the tries, James?
Yeah, so England scored 2 tries, again down the right-hand side of the field. It has been found in previous research that teams with more line breaks tend to score more tries, so there is a correlation here. And again, Dan Norton involved in every try for England. Rather than breaking down the defence, most of England's tries just came from individual brilliance, speed on the outside and good support play on the inside. It was great to watch, Mark.
Moving on to tackle percentage. England put themselves in good position to make tackles, but slipped off a few times. England didn't have much of a scramble defence, however. They found themselves out of position on a few occasions.
This then relates back to not tracking properly in the tackled area, not pushing up in the middle on defence, and not being in a good defensive position to help cover teammates, especially when a line break was made by South Africa. Here is a perfect example of the England players not pushing up on the inside. As you can see by the clip, if they had continued to push up on the inside, it would shut down South Africa's option and definitely stop the try being scored here. What about those restarts, Mark? I thought England chose to do short restarts to contest the ball, and they won 2 and lost 1. However, they did win a restart and then concede a turnover straight away, giving South Africa the ball in their own half. And when they lost the kickoffs to South Africa then had the ball up near England's 22 and were already hot on attack.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas South Africa chose to kick long and try pinning England in their own 22 and force turnovers, which was an effective method. It has been found that winning teams utilise non-contested restarts more frequently, which is exactly what South Africa did.
Yeah, now in regards to turnovers, England gave away far too much ball. 6 knock-ons from England, 2 holding on penalties by Phil Burgess, meaning he isolated himself and ran away from his support. Clearing kick by Dan Bibby, which was a panic move and should never kick the ball away, and losing the ball off the kickoff. Just too many turnovers, Mark. What do you think?
Yes, James. Handling errors were a problem. Skill acquisition and base catch pass let England down. Taking the ball into contact rather than pulling back and resetting was also seen by Burgess's 2 holding on penalties. And kicking the ball away in sevens, don't even get me started, mate.
Having a look at position now, England held the ball 4% longer, which equated to an extra 24 seconds with the ball. This gave England more opportunity to play with the ball and attack more, which led to an extra line break.
Yeah, however, James, it also could have led to the reason for more turnovers, as holding on to the ball under fatigue, especially in the late stages of the game, is hard to do. So, James, what do you think England's strengths are?
Obviously, clean breaks was one of them. It was a good strength for England, attacking down the right-hand side and trying to get Dan Norton the ball, as he continually beat defenders and made things happen.
Absolutely, and this is supported by the charts below. All of England's clean breaks and tries were down the right-hand side of the field. Our recommendation will be to develop a game plan that utilises the wide player on the right side and get Dan Norton more involved. As our colleague says, he's pure nitro. Another strength would be their possession, the ability to maintain possession.
Yeah, Mark. It has been found that the most successful teams maintain ball possession by reducing errors and turnovers. England had higher possession, but also had more errors and turnovers. If they can eradicate these handling errors at training, then they will be in better shape for the next game.
Yeah, James, the recommendation will be to focus on handling skills at training, especially under fatigue and in varying conditions. Focus on support play and work on their rucking ability, making sure they are more effective at retaining their own ball.
Yeah, not running away from their support play, making sure that everyone understands the game plan.
Yeah.
Another strength of their set piece is they won 100% of their set piece, so making sure they still continue to practice this aspect of the game so they can take this success into the next series would definitely help them win those tight games that they'll have to face.
Burgess, who fades to the back. Opt not to compete at line to the ground by Nell.
This leads on to England's weaknesses. Turnovers were poor from England. England turned the ball over 10 times, which was detrimental to their performance.
Yeah, Mark, they need to work on ball retention And as we mentioned before, maintaining skills under fatigue will be huge for them. Revisiting these turnover clips, you can see that England gave the ball away in crucial times. Hot on attack, opportunities looming. They really need to work on this at training.
Lindsay Hay. Waddleton looking for the turnover. It's a good shot initially, but then bobbles it on the deck.
Another was all of South Africa's tries were down the right-hand side, so England need to improve the defence on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Mark, this could be achieved by better defensive structures and focusing on pushing up in the middle to put pressure on the opposition and shut off the opposition's attacking options.
Floats it over the top. Oosthuizen. Right, Oosthuizen.
The tackle percentage of 73% is relatively high, as they made 19 of their 26 attempted. It's been found that successful teams perform more successful tackles and miss fewer tackles.
Yeah, so Mark, I think what you're saying is our recommendations would be to practice team defense structure, individual player tracking, and individual player tackling. That would help improve these statistics.
Absolutely. Should be noted too that results reveal differences between winning and losing teams in restarts, passing effectiveness, line breaks, missed tackles, and tries scored.
Yeah, Mark, that's true. So winning men's teams utilise more non-contested restarts. They won a higher percentage of contested restarts and had more scrum feeds and more effective tackles than losing teams.
Yeah, that's right, James. The coach should take into consideration and look at improving these aspects of the game to generally help improve performance.